Music cracks us open. That cynic, that one who holds back, that one that judges. Music can transport us from wherever we are to where we really are here to be. The wholeness, the fullness, the completeness of our divinity. When I got through or began to peek out of my dark night of the soul 20 years ago, as I got out of rehab, I ran down the street every week to get to Unity of New York so that I could be there for the opening song where we sang, "Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do." All that I must do. And it was a transformative process going from that purely selfish, hedonistic devotion to one thing, one substance, to the infinity of possibility that was lying in wait for me. And that music of heaven transported me to that. So I would run every week and stand and sway and sing the peace song and sing "Use Me" and do all of those things as I began to change, as the melody and the song shifted me day after day, week after week, month after month, until I joined the choir. And then I get to sing the songs on Wednesday night rehearsals, and then I got to sing them on Sunday morning in preparation, and then I got to sing them in service. So by the time the week was over, I had heard the songs at least 20 times, and they were part of this earworm, this mixtape of my life. Use me, I release and I let go. You're the face of God. All of those songs became part of my being, because I immersed myself in them. And so today's talk, Music of Heaven, is about how we use music to transform ourselves and transform our world. Because music is incredibly powerful. As you know, right? Music can elicit emotions from you that you didn't even know you had. Music can take you back to memories, to people you long for and miss. Music can release anger for you. There's nothing like a great rock and roll tune to sing and get it all out, right? And you are changed by the chords, by the music itself, by the lyrics, and by the power of your own breath, voicing that energy, that life, that power that lies within each and every one of you. We use music culturally all across the spectrum. We use it at weddings, right? Oh, music is a huge part of weddings. Misa and Dean have a huge business about singing for weddings, right? To make sure that there's a party atmosphere. But music is also used for funerals, right? Because it reminds us and takes us to a place and transports us to a higher level, even in the sorrow, especially in the sorrow. And music is used as national rallying cries, anthems, and banners, and waving of the flag. All have to do with our understanding of community and connection and belonging. And music is the stream that unites all of that, down to birthdays, to quinceañeras, to all of the events where we use music and song to weave us together as a family. Wisdom from thousands of years ago knew this too. Plato says, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Now, I think we could have a beautiful service here without music, but I don't know. I don't want to even try it, right? I do love the days where we get to do chanting and we get contemplative music, and we do ohms together, ohming in harmony, that kind of power that we can create together. But music is transformative in every form, from the power of our rock and roll band here today to the power of a simple chant. We are all moved. And when I talk about heaven, because I said it, the music of heaven, Wayne Dyer said heaven is a state of mind. Now, to be clear, Wayne was not the first one to say that. Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore and Ernest Holmes all said that decades and decades before Wayne Dyer picked it up and put it in a book, and it gets quoted all over Google now as a Wayne Dyer quote. I thought for a second of just putting my name after it. Because that's all Wayne did too. Heaven is a state of mind. Meaning, we have a saying in the 12-step program I belong to. It's like, religion is for people who are scared to going to hell. Spirituality is for people who have already been there. Right? Heaven and hell are states of consciousness, folks, that we can inhabit right here on earth. Heaven on earth, hell on earth. Many of us have been through hell, self-inflicted hell, right? If we're honest, right? And we can easily get to music of heaven, that place that Marcus so beautifully demonstrated for us, where we can allow it in, where we can allow the music that lives eternally in our mind and in our soul to crack us open so that we can see things anew. And that we can get to that place of bliss, that place of joy and enthusiasm. And I want to be really clear, because I don't want to metaphysical malpractice all over you. You don't have to be happy all the time. I don't think any of us are, right? What we want to be is authentic and real, and move through our emotions, move through the things that are coming up for us. And they're coming up for us to process, to understand, to work with, to mold, to shift, to expand, and see what beauty comes out of it. You know, the 23rd Psalm says it, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they guide and comfort me. And thou preparest a table for me in the presence of my thoughts of enmity." Right? The thoughts of evil. It doesn't say that we set up or buy a condo there. It says we walk through the valley of the shadow. We keep on moving. We keep on trucking, baby. We keep on getting out of there. But many of us buy timeshares. Oh, it's that time of year. I'm going back to the valley. Right? Oh, mine of us buy condos. I feel better when I'm sad. I get more attention when I'm sad. Sadness is part of the human experience. There's no one, not the most elevated and enlightened monk or the simplest or the wisest peasant who can manage this life without experiencing the sadness. Maya Angelou put it this way: music was my refuge. I could crawl into that space between the notes and curl my back against loneliness. I can just feel the physicality of that quote and that crawling between the notes. And you know, that's where we need the mixtape. When we have those feelings of loneliness and those moments, that the mixtape comes in, the mixtape of our unity music, so that we can dive in and transform ourselves. Because there's many times in pain, in loss, where we may not feel like singing the songs we sang in the medley, right? We may feel like when we've lost someone we love, this is the first song that comes up.
At first I was afraid I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. And I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong. And I learned how, long note?
Yeah, long note.
To get along.
And learning how to get along means that we got to stop singing the blues. We got to stop singing the blues and let the unity tunes back in at some point. And to shift that, oh, they done me wrong. They done me so wrong. They done me really bad wrong, to I release them.
Stop and just breathe in. Quit this thinking. Know that you have been abundantly provisioned. Trust and believe that you can receive it. Affirm this with me and say,
You know this one.
I release and I let go.
Go, go.
I release and I let go.
Go, go.
I release and I let go.
Oh, yes, I'm only here for God. Right? And when we can change the Ain't It So Bad song into knowing that more lies ahead for us. I can tell you from personal experience, I was in that place where that one that got away, that guy, the one, my lover who died, the lover I wanted, the lover I couldn't get, and I was so filled with self-pity in that. I used to put on the blues in the apartment and sing them along. But I release and I let go kept creeping back in. Thank you, Ricky Byers. And it kept creeping back into my life until I finally realized that my good was laying out ahead of me and I was stuck in the past of what didn't work out. That my good was waiting for me to show up for it. And so when I finally allowed myself to be loved by who was willing to show up and love me, my whole life changed. I got married. I have kids. We live in San Rafael. We work with you every week. Thank you, honey. Because I said yes. I released the old stuff. I released the crap. Excuse me. But I did. There's sometimes no other word to describe it. What we mire ourselves in. What we get stuck with. And we can release it. And that tune and those words that Misa has so eloquently rewritten for us can catapult us to a new way of understanding so that we can get to music of heaven. We can get to those feelings of joy. That's the power of the Unity mixtape, the Unity track that can play in your mind. But you know, there are many other things that happen in our lives too. Music can name the unnameable and communicate the unknowable. Leonard Bernstein, right? Have you ever been transported by a piece of instrumental music and you know what it means? As a dancer, I used to just totally embody music like that and totally just take it off to flights of fancy and know that there were words I needed to say, words I needed to express, but the world didn't have words for them or meaning for it. See, there's music even in our phones, right? For those of you at home, someone's phone just went off, and it's a nice, cute little tune just playing here. See how we surround ourselves with music. One of my alarms is on my phone is from Hamilton. Work.
the Schuyler sisters.
The Schuyler sisters are one of my sounds on my phone. I love it when they always remind me of that, and it transports me back to another time. I digress. The next one I want to talk to us about is anger and resentment. It is really easy in this physical body and in this world to make someone else your enemy, to make someone else the evil one, the bad one, the one that we have to fight against. It's really easy in our politics today, isn't it? Some of them have mug shots. Enough said. Some of them don't, and some people wish that others had mug shots that didn't get mug shots. And you can see the two sides pointing fingers at each other and accusing each other of the same thing. And the anger and the resentment builds up so much, that once again, you can hear the tune echoing in the back of your head as you're lambasting the picture on the screen in front of you, lambasting the story in the paper about someone and how bad and evil and wrong they are. Or maybe it's someone in your life or your family. And this tune just won't leave you alone, right? Because damn you, Karen Drucker, for writing this little earworm that won't leave me be mad at someone else and blaming them for the state of the world. Because the truth is, I'm the creator of my world. You're the creator of your world. There's no one else, no one and nothing to blame. And in that moment, you can shift and know the truth of this melody.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Transformed to realize the power of a thought, of a tune, of a word that can shift us through the day. The mixtape continues. Khalil Gibran said, music is the language of the spirit. It opens the secret of life, bringing peace and abolishing strife. Bringing peace. Many of us feel the disappointments of life. The job we didn't get, the house we didn't get, the opportunity that seemed to slip through our fingers, the book deal, the marriage. And that disappointment can take over us and make us think, oh, you know, how many times have you heard people say, oh, I have the worst luck? And I always say to them, that's a great affirmation. Keep it up. I have the worst luck. Or, nothing seems to go right for me. And those moments can be real. But also in that moment, that melody can turn back on. It's like music of our own mind, right? To help us get through those tough periods. It's like walking into the department store and being aggravated at the woman in front of you or the man in front of you who's taking way too long at that checkout counter. When you can take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the bliss of the moment. When you can realize the truth that your life is blessed beyond measure, that you won the lotto because you're here right now on the planet and in the United States and in this sanctuary. You've already won the lotto and you are blessed beyond measure.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Absolutely. Lao-Tzu said it this way: music in the soul can be heard by the universe. How many people know about the law of attraction? Follow Abraham Hicks, right? As we vibrate to the universe is what we attract. When we can use this music, when we use the tunes and the melodies and the lyrics to attract what we really want, we then become powerful. We become empowered to create a life of our dreams, to create a world that works for everyone, no exceptions, no exclusions. When we surrender the journey, because it's not up to us what happens in the world, it's up to us how we react to what happens in the world. I'll say it again. It's not up to us what happens in the world. It's up to us to how to react to what happens in the world. Whether it's your diagnosis, whether it's your job, your marriage, war, disease, plagues, famines. All of them happen. Robbery, death. How do I want to be in it? The Unity Music and the New Thought Music Library takes us to a new place where we can surrender to what truly is the most important. We can surrender to our highest and greatest good.